Kathleen with Interviews by Kathleen. Today we have Karen Krause, who is a fantastic, I started to say author because I'm so used to working with authors. Excuse me. You are an author, so to speak. You translate the written word into spoken word. You are a narrator extraordinaire. And Karen, where do you live right now?
I live in right in the suburbs of Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
So that's where we've been. My family has been for, gosh, the last 45 years, I guess. So we feel like natives, even though we're not.
Yeah, I can understand that. Now, what got you into doing narration? Now, I know that you were an actor and you went to
Yes,
acting school.
yes. I I've been acting since I started in fifth grade actually. Um, been performing since before that, but that was with musically. So I got the bug in fifth grade. So I've been acting basically ever since then, on stage mostly. I've done a little bit of film, but mostly stage. And to be honest with you, I'm getting up there in years. And some time ago, I realized, unfortunately, the available roles for mature women are few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to decide how am I going to get my creative juices um, the satisfaction that they need. And I thought, I've been listening to audiobooks since back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And now with the internet, I don't have to live on the East or the West Coast to work with publishers and do this sort of thing. So I started taking some workshops and decided this is where I wanted to go. Besides, I can play all the characters.
What better job, right?
Exactly.
I know I was very fascinated by narration and making sure, because it's been a long time since I've read aloud and doing that sort of thing. And you stumble over words that you don't have a problem with in your head.
You
And
do.
there was a gentleman who is I think I don't know if he's off Broadway or on Broadway, but he owns his own theater and company and stuff like that. But he teaches how to do readings, book readings,
Okay.
the
Hmm.
5-minute ones. And so I was fascinated to go to that and learn how to emote and when to breathe, when not to breathe. And it was okay if I missed a word so long as it still sounded good. True
Yeah.
nerves, you know.
Yep. Yep.
So I've had a tiny peek into what you're doing, and I'm so excited about it to hear some more about the nuances of what it takes to be a narrator. What,
Okay.
most people, because of that class, I found out you need to do a little bit of massaging of the manuscript before you start doing the reading.
Hmm.
And can you tell us a little bit about that, how that works in your
Okay.
world?
Well, obviously, the first thing I do is prep. If I were, say, one of the huge narrators like Scott Brick or somebody like that, they have people to do their prep. Um, but I don't. So I have to read the book, obviously. And what I generally do first is to read through without thinking about anything except the story and get so I can get a feel for the story, the ups, the downs, the dynamics, the tone that the author is going for, and their voice. So that's my first thing. Then I will go back through and read it more quickly and do my markings. If there are things that, okay, this is a particularly difficult phrase to get out of the mouth, I will mark that. Any particular character notes I need to put in the script, any words I don't know what they mean, I'll have to look up.
Mhm.
Words I am not sure if I pronounce correctly. Even if I think I know how to pronounce it, I often will go ahead and look it up because I grew up in the Midwest. My family is from the South. We like to change the pronunciation of words.
Oh,
So
yes.
they may not be the actual accepted way they're supposed to be pronounced. Um, so that's basically what I do. If I come across like things that don't make sense to me, I will then go back to the author if I can. Sometimes, if you're working with a producer, you can't talk to the author, so you have to go through them. I will go back and say, I don't understand why this is here. Or when Sally was introduced, she had Titian hair, and now she's got black hair. And, so any kind of inconsistencies that hit me, I will go back to the author and say, this is what I found. What should it be? Should I read it the way it is, or did you have something that you wanted to change it to? Um, so that's basically it, um, as
Do
far
you,
as getting prepared.
when somebody sends you a book, do you prefer having it in a manuscript form, like a binder, so that you can go through it that way?
No, actually, I'm fine having it like a Word document works best for me, because then I can go in and I make a copy of it, and then I'll do my markups on the copy. So I've still got the original to go back to and realize I didn't change the manuscript. Uh, so I can, double check myself. But yeah, Word document is usually good because I read now I used to read on paper, but I read on my computer screen now. So,
Yeah, I learned to do that also. It's
mhm.
when I'm doing interviews. When I was first being interviewed or doing interviews, I had to have my little script underneath it to know where I was going and what I was going to say. Is there a specific genre that you like to work with?
Well, I seem to have fallen into the cozy mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love mysteries. Mysteries and thrillers and fantasies, epic fantasies like high fantasy, were
Mm-hmm.
always my favorite reads as I was
Mm-hmm.
growing up and when I got grown up, of course, after that. So a mystery is wonderful for me, but I have also done thrillers, and suspense. So you can add in a little extra stuff. They don't all have to be cozy.
Mm-hmm.
But those seem to be the ones that I have the most experience with.
They seem to be on the higher end, number wise, of
Hmm.
mysteries and romances.
Yes, romance is probably number one, but
Mm-hmm.
I have found I can do romance. It's just not my favorite genre.
Mm-hmm.
So I generally head for other genres than that, besides that. So
How do you advertise? How can somebody get hold of you?
I have a website, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just www.karenkrause.com. And on there is my email address. We can contact each other back and forth. I can't recall whether I have on my old website, this is a fairly new one. I had a contact page where you could go in and fill in and contact me and it would go, but I don't know if I have that on this one, but my email address is listed on there. So
Okay. Well, at
that's
the
preferred.
end of the viewing of this video, I have
Hmm.
that information so
Okay.
that people will be able to contact you and leave a message or text or email or something like that. If you've got your phone number up there and you want only text, then they can do that too.
Okay.
So, um, I was going to ask, what is the most interesting book you've done?
Oh my goodness. They're all the most interesting while I'm doing them.
Well, of course
So,
they are. It's like
so
your
it's,
baby, isn't it?
it is, it really is. Um, there are a couple of them that have stuck with me, though, I have to say. There's one of my early books was a book called Where Bluebirds Fly. And it was a very intricate plot. It was basically two time periods. Back in Salem, Massachusetts during the witch trials, and the other was present day. And the storyline basically followed with one young woman whose parents had died, and she had a younger brother who had Asperger's. And she also had synesthetic qualities to, I'm trying to remember what hers was. Sounds. I can't remember now. But anyway, it was very intricate. And the modern day was an educational institution that worked with people on the spectrum and synesthetic people who had synesthesia. And there was not a time travel, but a time communication between them. And it was just extremely intriguing. It was very complex and it was very well written. I really enjoyed it a lot. So that's one that really stuck with me through the whole time period. There's another one that is a 3-book series, and it is basically a reimagining of some of the legends like Ichabod Crane, Edgar Allan Poe's things, H.G. Wells stories and that sort of thing, and kind of melding them with the current day as well. And that was very interesting. That was a suspense thriller type of book. Those are the two that really stick with me.
I can read thrillers to a certain extent. I can watch certain thrillers, but it's like really true hardcore horror. I won't have nightmares right away, but I will a year or two down the road. And so my husband, if he wants to watch those, he goes in the other room. I wanted to ask you, this is a question that I had to sit down, I had to write it down before I forgot it because it's something I've always wanted to ask a narrator. What are the changes that you have seen? Because you've been in narration for how long?
About 12 years now, I think.
Okay.
My first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my first
So
one. But I've been listening since 90s, so.
Yeah. But what changes have you seen over the years, even from when you were listening to when you actually started doing it? And where do you think it's going?
Oh, that is quite a question. That's
I
loaded.
know it isn't. I'm sorry if it's
No, that's okay. We have to ponder these things and think about it because it's important. Well, I'll go first from listening. I know that it was very interesting from publisher to publisher and narrator to narrator and situation to situation that I would read. It's very interesting. Some of the audio was precise and clean and just perfect, but then I would find even on some of the highly rated and popular series, I could hear the narrator sucking on a lozenge while she was talking.
Oh
So,
my.
and this was a very, very well-known narrator, very well-known series, very popular from one of the top publishers. So I thought that's kind of interesting. Um, and I'll say that's really not changed a whole lot because with the opening up to the home studio narrator and the indie narrating, publishing of audiobooks, you still have that huge variation in quality. Um, and I'm not talking about performance. I'm not going to go there, but as far as it's just quality of the sound.
Mm-hmm.
So that hasn't changed. But what I'm seeing that has changed is it has opened up the business so much. We have a ton of new opportunities for people because it's just exploding as far as the audiobook business goes. There are more and more and more and more audiobooks being published every year. It's become a really big thing. Um, and one of the big things that has changed from the narrator side is you can do it at home.
Yeah.
Even with the big publishers, they will utilize your home studio for your audio. And because of internet bandwidths now and all sorts of things like that, they can. They
Mm-hmm.
can get on oh, some kind of even Zoom sometimes, session with you where they can direct you in your home
Really?
studio now. Yes.
How
Yeah. So
interesting.
they're, mhm. And a lot of times once they've gotten comfortable with your narration and your work ethic and your consistency, they will let you self-direct. But often, yeah, they will be in the booth with you through the internet. And so that's interesting. So you can do it anywhere now. You don't have to be in Minneapolis or New York or LA and have to go into their studios to record. So
Hmm.
it's opened up quite a bit. And now we have AI, which is a huge, huge conversation in this business
Yeah.
right now.
Oh, yeah. It's a big one in art of any type. I have a friend that is a painter, and
Hmm.
she in, embeds it in her painting.
Hmm.
So when you look at it on your computer or a app on your phone, like a clock, she did this grandfather clock. And if you turn on that app, you see the butterflies coming off of it
Oh,
and flying
wow.
away. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. But, a lot of people are um, not happy, and other people are celebrating because it's something she really believes in and supports. So, and it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
So,
it is. It's a different genre of art, a different form, a different
hmm,
media. And
yeah.
and I think that's eventually that's where it's all going to end up falling out. But
Hmm.
until then, it's just a huge discussion. And to be honest with you, there is an issue with narrators and being sure that their voice is not used without permission or compensation to create an AI voice. So, I
Ah,
mean, that's one of the issues that the audiobook narrating community is, and VO voiceover in particular is addressing because we know it's going to be here. We know it's going to end up finding its place. But if I record a book that has a contract that has not protected me from it now. I could hear my voice out there doing all
Hmm.
sorts of things,
Oh, yeah.
and I would not be compensated or have given permission or any of that. So it's an issue.
I
It
can,
will get resolved.
yeah, it will. It will. It's got to settle down because
Hmm.
right now I feel like it's a 5-year-old running amok
Yes, yes.
and being very, not, with very little control.
Hmm.
Either
And
too
things,
much control, too little control, but nothing swinging in the middle.
yeah, and things change. I mean, you can't be stagnant
Hmm.
and produce art. You have to change with the times and with the people uh, to be relevant. So, it's an inevitable. There we go. I would do a retake. It's an inevitability.
That's why I tried doing reading the first chapter, the complete first chapter. My voice got tired, started
Hmm.
wavering. I started mispronunciating the names, and it's something I wrote. And it's like, oh, I'm not
Yeah,
doing this. It's too much work. All right.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize. Yes, your tongue gets tired, your mouth gets tired, your throat gets tired. It's hard to do long form narration.
Yeah.
Um, you have to train for it really to be able to do it consistently for any length of time.
Yeah.
Not that you can't do it. You could go in and record a chapter, and that's it, and do
Hmm.
another chapter the next day. I mean, you can piecemeal it together, but if you have anything that you need to get recorded and need to talk for 2 or 3 hours, you
Hmm.
kind of need the training and the support that you
Yeah.
have from having done it for years and years.
What kind of
It's tough.
training are we talking about?
Oh, there's a lot. Diction.
Hmm.
I mean, most of this I got with my acting, my theater. You've got diction, you learn, how to keep your mouth um, alive, and breathing, breath
Hmm.
exercises, breathing, and that sort of thing. Um, you have to learn how to support because one of the main reasons people get hoarse or lose their voice is because they're putting too much strain on your actual vocal cords to put to get the words out.
Hmm.
Excuse me. Whereas they should be supported from your
The
gut, from your
yeah.
diaphragm, and push the air out that way so that your vocal cords don't get overused and stressed out. So there's a lot of that, and just having the ability to practice all of that, um, and to know so that you know how. And then you've got, if you want to do accents and that sort of thing, you've got all of that to learn, and you learn where the sounds in your mouth go, where they resonate. Um, a lot.
Yeah.
But a lot of it what I got was from my theater and singing background.
Yeah.
So um, I,
That's what
I,
I
I
was
brought,
going to say.
yeah, I brought those to the table already with narration, although I still had to work on it because if you don't use your voice for a while,
Hmm.
you lose that support. So,
I know I was, when I sang, I used to sing a
mhm,
lot and led worship. I was also in a C&W band and stuff. And I learned in high school and junior high school, I had very good teachers about using your diaphragm. I never needed a microphone, no
yeah,
matter the size or how loud the crowd. I had a problem with everybody else getting up to my level of projection.
You had to
because
quiet down to blend.
exactly, exactly. Except for two guys that I have sung with over the years, and they both project beautifully, just,
Mhm,
but I haven't done it for years. And so
mhm.
that's why I know that's why when I was thinking about narrating my own book and I tried it and I ran out of breath, I ran out of fluid in my mouth to keep it moist and keep it going that
Yeah.
should be there. And I'm like, oh no. And it's all because I didn't keep it up.
Hmm. But you could
Any,
get it back. You know what
yeah.
you're doing, at least. So
Mm-hmm.
you know you just have to do the exercises and the breathing exercises.
Yeah, when I quit
And
singing, I was finally able to, really solidly land on it, not climb to it. And it was true learning how to do warm ups and
hmm
making sure I had those in under my
hmm
belt.
yeah,
So,
and you have to be warmed up. You really do. Yeah. So I have a very strange habit that I don't know where I got it, but I know my aunt had the same problem. I hum
hmm
a lot, and I don't even know I'm doing it. So I kind of stay warmed up.
hmm hmm
I never realized it, but yeah, I'll hum, and I half the time don't even know what tune I'm humming or that I'm humming. So that's a great way to stay warmed up, I found out.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. One of the a series you might be interested in reading. I know she's already got her own uh, narrators.
Hmm.
Diane Duvall. She wrote a
Okay.
series, and I believe it's the Class 5 series, and it's about women that were stolen from Earth because of
Oh,
singing.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because they
Eh,
sang so well,
No,
or
just
because,
because it actually started out with the gal was like on her porch, and the AI that was part of the ship was intrigued by
ah,
her singing
okay.
while, doing the other
Hmm.
things that he was being ordered to do. And he brought her on board. And from then on, there were four more women taken because
Interesting.
those captains didn't want to look like they were slacking. So they purposely went. But it was just interesting that they would start humming, and there was a race in this universe that can't sing. They have something lacking in their vocal cords. Maybe 1 in 10 million can hum or carry a small tune. And these girls were, it turned out most of them were in choirs or something like that. One was a music teacher. And so they could all sing to a certain degree and
Oh, wow.
like doing, Frere Jacques in a round blew the people away. They'd never heard anything like that. So, but
Let
it was,
alone harmony, right?
yeah, let alone harmony.
Mhm,
But it's really a good series. But and I think about that
awesome.
sometimes when I catch myself humming or singing, and
Mhm.
it comes to mind. Isn't it
I'm
interesting
a-
how books bring us back to things that we knew we did before?
It is. It is. Yeah. Stories are my favorite thing in the whole world. I love stories. So, and it's amazing how you can connect with them in
hmm
so many different ways. So, yep, definitely they bring us back.
Karen, this has been so much fun chatting with you and exploring your world of
Thank you. Me
the
too. I've had a lot of
vocal,
fun.
the vocalization of books.
Hmm.
And I look forward to our next time together because I hope we will have another time together.
I
Now,
do too, Kathleen. This has been a lot of fun for me too.
great. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget at the end, you will see a sign that gives you Karen's information on how you can contact her. It'll also carry the information about our upcoming our contest that's going on now, and then the upcoming writing conference and the book festival that'll be happening this year. Thank you for joining us, ladies, and thank you, Karen, for
Thank you.
sharing your life with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.